This is the Fox 5 News Block.
Breaking news. Salvage of the wreckage following that crash between the American Airlines jet and the military helicopter is set to begin. Plus, is a trade war brewing? U.S. tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico set to take effect tomorrow. How are neighbors to the north and south reacting? Good afternoon. I'm Morgan Mackay. Welcome to the News Block. Those stories in just a moment, but first, here's a live look outside right now. And it is looking very nice, but with that little hint of rain, let's bring in meteorologist Audrey Puente for a look at the forecast. Hey, Audrey.
Hi, Morgan. We did start off wet this morning. We're in a little bit of a lull right now, but there is more rain heading in our direction here. Temperatures are feeling pretty good out there. We're at 45 degrees now in Central Park. Same numbers being found in Islip. We're at 46 in Belmar, and off to the north, we're finding 41 in White Plains, and we're in the 30s around Poughkeepsie, Monticello, and in Sussex, New Jersey. All of these temperatures milder than they were at this time yesterday, and our winds not too bad. It's actually pretty comfortable out there. We just have that damp feel in the air because of all the wet weather that has been moving through the northeast. So we can see to the north here we have some steady to moderate rainfall happening up in the Hudson Valley. There's also some rain creeping into southern portions of New Jersey, and it's this batch that will work its way into the tri-state area over the next few hours, and that's going to give us a very slick evening commute for the ride home tonight. This area of low pressure won't really push offshore until later on this evening, and we do expect drier weather coming in here from the west as we go into the upcoming weekend. I'll have all the details coming up. Morgan?
Thank you, Audrey. So breaking news. The New York Times is reporting that Mayor Eric Adams' lawyers are currently in Washington meeting with top Justice Department officials and Manhattan prosecutors to discuss dropping the criminal charges against Adams. Now, Adams is facing 5 federal criminal charges, including bribery and soliciting illegal campaign donations. The case was set to go to trial in April. Mayor Adams has repeatedly denied the allegations, saying that they are politically motivated. Now, the investigation into Wednesday night's mid-air collision intensifying today. Investigators have recovered the cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder of the American Airlines plane that collided with an Army helicopter. Fox 5's Richard Giacobis is in the newsroom with more on that and what we are learning about a victim with ties to our area. Richard?
More on that in a moment, Morgan. But the Washington, D.C. Fire Department just holding a press briefing a little while ago saying that sonar and aerial searches are currently underway to recover more bodies, along with divers working in targeted areas. The rain down in the D.C. area, though, is slowing those efforts. 41 bodies have been pulled from the water so far, 28 of them positively identified. The FAA, meanwhile, has indefinitely closed routes to most helicopter traffic near Reagan National Airport. That airport still operating at reduced capacity, with 2 of the 3 runways still shut down today. Investigators, meanwhile, are hoping to get answers now that the black boxes have been recovered from the American Airlines plane. The NTSB is moving fast with this investigation as new questions mount about air traffic control. Why was there reportedly 1 operator doing the job of 2? And why was that Black Hawk chopper apparently flying at 350 feet instead of under 200 feet like it is supposed to? It's too early to determine for certain, but some experts suggest that the helicopter pilots may have been looking at the wrong aircraft. Then there's air traffic controllers, with reports suggesting staffing was not normal at the time of the crash, with 1 air traffic controller working 2 positions.
Because of traffic, because of any other issue, you can see fluctuations in staff up and down. Now, is that an acceptable standard for safety? We will investigate that.
Also this afternoon, we're learning about someone from our area who died on American Airlines Flight 5342. Her name is Melissa Nicandri, a 28-year-old who lived in Brooklyn and worked at Moody's. Fox 5 has been in contact with her father, who told us that he was just here with Melissa and her boyfriend last weekend. The NTSB says it has already started the process of extracting data from the voice recorder, a reminder of just how incredibly complex these investigations are. The agency has said their preliminary report would take about a month, with a final probable cause, Morgan, at least a year or more away.
Just horrible. Thank you so much, Richard. Now, one of those killed in that tragedy, a 13-year-old who had hopes of becoming a gold medal winning figure skater. Gina Hahn is being described as a little girl with big dreams. We caught up with her mentor, who skates at a rink on Long Island. She felt she had no choice but to get back on the ice despite grieving the loss of her friend.
I have to keep going because, there's still so much passion in the sport, and I believe that all those skaters and coaches and parents, like, they all had a dream, and still being able to pursue that, I feel very fortunate, and I feel like part of me feels like I have to do this for them now.
Now, Audrey Shin says that Gina Han has always hoped to compete in figure skating on the world stage. Developing news now from Gaza. 3 more Israeli hostages are set to be released tomorrow. This marks the 4th round of exchanges in the first phase of the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Hamas also released 8 hostages yesterday in exchange for 110 Palestinian prisoners being held in Israel. However, that part of the exchange was delayed because of the chaotic scene of armed fighters escorting the Israeli hostages in front of a crowd of thousands. 33 Israeli captives and around 2,000 Palestinian prisoners are expected to be released during this first phase of the ceasefire. Meanwhile, the White House confirming that starting tomorrow, Canada and Mexico will be hit with 25% tariffs on goods exported to the U.S. There are concerns this could lead to an immediate price increase for American shoppers. President Trump says the 25% tariffs are meant to pressure the 2 countries to tighten their borders with the U.S. and crack down on the flow of migrants and illegal drugs. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau saying his country will respond immediately and forcefully. And Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says her country has a plan in place to deal with the tariffs imposed by the U.S. A senior Trump administration official is in Venezuela urging President Nicolas Maduro to take back deported migrants who've committed crimes in the U.S. That official is also trying to secure a handful of Americans who are imprisoned in the South American nation. The visit comes less than a month after Maduro was sworn in for a 3rd term, despite credible evidence he actually lost last year's election. The U.S. and several other Western nations do not recognize his claim to victory. Now, the man accused of pushing a woman into a subway train is due back in court today. Prosecutors say a 26-year-old Marquise Brazeles admitted shoving the victim into an incoming train at the 168th Street station on Monday morning. He reportedly later told police, quote, "I did it because I wanted to." It was the 3rd time that Brazeles had been arrested in the subway in just over a week. Commuters from New Jersey now have one more obstacle ahead of them to get into the city. The Hoboken Path Station is now officially closed until February 25th for construction. The Port Authority says the 117-year-old station will undergo track replacement, switch upgrades, and concrete walkways and staircases will be replaced. Officials believe getting everything done quickly is the better option rather than doing weekend service reductions for a full year.
I have to get used to it for the next 1 month when it's going to be the coldest. So I have to get used to it. Not too happy about this.
I understand why they're doing it. I'm hoping that they stick to their proposed timeline and it doesn't take too long, but we'll see.
Alternatives for commuters who normally use a Hoboken Path Station include New York Waterway Ferry, free 24/7 shuttle buses to the Newport Exchange Police Path Stations, New Jersey Transit Bus 126, or the Hudson-Bergen Light Rail. Deck the halls with Valentine's Day decor. A family in Brooklyn is letting Cupid capture their home with lots of love and hearts this February. Fox 5's Kendall Green headed to this Bay Ridge house that's got holiday decorations down to a science.
The labor of love, getting all the love from spectators as the holiday tradition continues in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
I went all the way around. I'm working on the next block. It's the most beautiful thing I ever saw.
What do you feel right now that you look at it?
I feel love.
You feel love all
I feel love all over.
That's the intent of Roy Jensen's Valentine's Day display that has added to his home a holiday staple for decades in his neighborhood. The frosty Christmas display shuffled to the colors of Cupid in a matter of days.
For me, it's easy because I've been doing it 30 years,
Jensen's got the colors and the details down to a science, with more than 100,000 lights drawing the masses ahead of Valentine's Day. And the positive feedback, always a plus.
People have felt like they've forgotten, that live here. So this brings them a lot of joy, you know. They see the lights, they see the hard work I'm putting in, and really, that encourages me, you know.
Support for Jensen has grown from everyday New Yorkers to folks liking and sharing online, then traveling the distance just to see the lights in person.
Since we're on Instagram since October, they come from all over, far away, trains, buses, they walk here, car service. You know, they just, when they come out of this car, they're like blown away.
They're blown away as Jensen notices the trend of hearts extending further and further down the block.
They put hearts on on the outside. Oh, my heart, but anybody could do it, which is nice because now he's getting well known.
Now, for those of you who want to come and see this elaborate, lovely display, you have until February 14th. That's Valentine's Day. Then it all goes down. Roy Jensen tells us he's already preparing for the following holiday, which is St. Patrick's Day, where he tells us there are boxes and boxes of decorations already inside. That's latest here in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Kendall Green, Fox 5 News.
Now, it's the end of an era for a popular show in New York City. After nearly 18,000 shows, Blue Man Group is ending its 33-year run. The last show here in New York City will be on Sunday. Fans will still be able to catch touring shows in Boston, Las Vegas, and Orlando. Now, a touching moment from the Southern California wildfire rescues.
Oh, hi. Okay, perfect. Is there anyone else with you? No.
That's the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department rescuing a 100-year-old woman from the Eaton fire earlier this month. They were walking through the senior living apartment complex where the woman lived, but she says she's deaf and she was not able to hear the Sheriff's Department. And when they found her walking and brought her back to safety. Now let's bring in meteorologist Andre Puente for a final look at this forecast. How soon is the rain going to come?
I know. Well, it looks like we have a lot of wet weather in our vicinity, Morgan, and it will be invading the region by the time we go into the evening commute here. It'll last right until midnight tonight, too. Here we are at 12 a.m., and we can see it's still steady rainfall, but everything shifts to the east, and tomorrow morning we will wake up with a mix of sun and clouds for your Saturday. But on Saturday, it'll be a bit more windy across the region, so that'll make for a blustery day, but a dry one. High pressure will keep things quiet for us as we go into the upcoming weekend. And Sunday, we should see plenty of sunshine, too, at least to start, and then we'll see some clouds rolling in towards the afternoon. Temperatures today will be a bit above average for a change. We'll have them mostly in the 40s. Tonight, we drop back into the 30s, and it looks like we will have temperatures moving into the upper 30s to about 40 degrees for your Saturday. 36 for Sunday on Groundhog's Day, and then it turns milder by the beginning of next week. Morgan?
Thank you, Audrey. That's your news block for now. I'm Morgan McKay. Thanks for watching.